Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Oh, Phil, checking in here again from Baja. And I'm super excited today because we got the gang is all back together.
The Three Musketeers. What's up, Candi?
That's right.
Hi, how are you guys doing? I missed you.
We miss you too, of course.
Well, it's good to be able to see you guys this way at the very least.
So for all you long haul truckers that are listening, this is our friend Candi. And I think the last time you were on here, we had some listeners, but now we got a whole lot of listeners every week. So we got to get them up to speed as to what's going on. What happened, Phil?
You can't hear me?
Oh, no, I hear you. You were just looking into space. I mean, maybe that was part of the plan.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking to Candi. I'm sorry. I thought that was specifically to Candi.
So Candi, you just got done with a road trip. For those that are not aware, that weren't following you on. So first of all, tell everybody how you can find you on social media and tell us about the last road trip that you just did with your hubby.
So I'm Chicks Do It Too. I'm on Instagram mostly, but I've got YouTube, which is very small, but you'll find a lot of my trips on there anyway. I do a little bit of TikTok, but mostly it's just Instagram. So, but yeah, my husband and I just got back from a month-long road trip in November. We went from Vegas to Florida for a month. And what's really interesting about it is that this is only my husband's second long road trip like this ever. He just retired last year. And so I'm typically a solo traveler and I've been doing it for years. We've done weekends and things whenever we could with his work schedule and things. And that's pretty much it. So he's learning the world of overlanding, I guess. He doesn't know how to be anywhere outside of campgrounds, which I'm teaching him how to do. He's never wild camped before. So all of this has been pretty funny to actually watch his reaction, because I'll find a place and I said, here, we're going to go here. And we get there and he's like, this is the place. And we're in the middle of nowhere. And that's just not something that he's used to. So he's learning. And he's actually having a lot of fun with it now that he's getting used to it. And well, I remember we were texting and you asked me about what his feelings are now that he's got a couple of, long road trips under his belt, and he doesn't like campgrounds anymore. So that's a positive thing. So, because normally I'm out in the wild, but we mixed
so
it up.
On this trip, do you guys? I mean, obviously, you did a mix of everything. What percentage would you say you were actually out boondocking?
So you have to understand Florida first of all. Florida,
yes, and we do.
Yes. So it's challenging to strictly boondock in Florida. There's really only 3 national forests and a couple of places that you can do that at. So you're relying basically, if you want to stay for free and if you don't mind staying in parking lots, you can stay in places like Cracker Barrel and things like that. But I really wanted to introduce him to the state park system that we have in Florida. And so that's what we did. We stayed at a lot of state parks, which was a lot of fun. So I would say we probably spent maybe probably half the time actually boondocking, probably half. So, because we were only in Florida for about 2 weeks, but the rest of it, we stayed entirely free everywhere else.
Did you do a combination of boondocking and harvest hosts, or what kind of like? Just so the listeners are kind of getting an idea, because Phil and I talk on here a lot about particularly the East Coast. Like if you east of the Mississippi, it becomes much more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. So it becomes challenging because they don't have things like BLM land. They do have national forests and places like that, but we utilized a lot of alternative means. For instance, we stayed near the water in Mississippi, near the beach for free. and a casino parking lot.
Yep.
And that was a really cool experience, actually, because if you go in you go in with security and you basically just register with security, and they give you a slip for your vehicle, and then you go and you sign up for their players club, which is completely free.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you $20 of free cash to play with, as well as food vouchers. So we walked out with free food and a free place to stay, great views, great sunset. I mean, that was just a lot of fun. In fact, we stayed there twice. It was so good. So we really enjoyed that. And then Cracker Barrel is another place that some people might not know about. That was not some place that we enjoyed as much as the casino, because we watched the sunset and ate dinner and things like that. But it was still good. Cracker Barrel was still a good option if we needed it. So we did do that a couple of times. So, but yeah, the rest of it on the way out, though, on the way out there, we were still within New Mexico. We stayed on BLM land, which was great in the middle of nowhere. Stars, beautiful, fantastic. So yeah, that was it was a lot of parking lots this time, though.
Mm-hmm.
So you being the seasoned veteran that you are, what would you say were have been the challenges so far for you, and what would you say are the challenges so far for your husband?
I think for him, it was difficult for him to wrap his head around, we can just stay here for free and it's okay. We don't have to notify anybody. For him, that was challenging to wrap his head around. Are you sure we're okay here? Is it going to be all right? And I'm like, yeah, this is public land. It's fine. It's not privately owned. We're going to be.
Yeah, we had some experience in Bend, Oregon.
Yes. Yes.
We did.
So but that was in June. That was a different trip.
Yeah. But did he, I mean, obviously it went pretty good. You're both back in Vegas. You made it.
We're in one piece. We're still married.
You're still married. All good things so far.
All things positive.
Excellent. Here's a question that I'm just curious, because, as someone that is currently on the road full time, did you guys notice any change? Let me just I'll just tell you how I see it here. So far, I was telling Phil, I think on our podcast last week, I've noticed a significant reduction in the amount of Overlanders, van lifers, nomads traveling so far this season. I can't say that that's going to stay that way or not. I don't know. I'm just wondering if in the places that you went to, ones that will be more frequented, I guess, maybe by those kinds of people. Did you notice any change, or has that not hit the U.S.?
I would have to say the biggest surprise for me, and I actually had discussed this with my husband whenever we were on the road. In the past, the state parks have always been challenging to get into in Florida. And if you didn't make your reservations well in advance, you weren't getting in. We had zero issues getting in anywhere. And this was during manatee season. So, because we went to see the manatees and we went to go swim with the manatees, we had no problems whatsoever booking a couple of days out in advance to get into a state park. If we decided, hey, there's this place, let's see if we can get in. We got in every single time, even on the beaches.
Like over by Crystal River and up that way, like Homosassa, that area where the manatees are. Because I could tell you a couple of years ago when I was there was no way you were getting into state parks on a moment's notice, unless you got in on that, like they reserve like 2 for, people that would show up after a certain time and, whatever. But it sounds like it's gotten significantly less busy.
It was not as crowded as I thought it would be. And even after we were in, the park was not full completely. There were still open spaces because, we would walk and then we would go down. Because, we did Blue Springs. We were in Crystal River. We we were in Anastasia Island on the east side. We were off of Flagler Beach. I mean, we stayed everywhere and we got in everywhere. And I was very surprised at that.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that just in the traffic and the frequency at which people come through where I am here in Southern Baja, that the traffic, particularly from the U.S. van lifers, nomads, has been almost it's almost non-existent, to be honest with you. I know just about everybody that's transiting Baja right now on their way down or moving around, and it's not that many people. So it's Phil and I talk about maybe economy based. It's leftover from the pandemic. I feel like, I think you and I were messaging back and forth on motorcycles and whatnot. If you want to buy a motorcycle, a jet ski, a camper, I don't care what it is. This is a great time right now because I don't think they can give most of this stuff away.
Yeah, I think maybe the romance might be over. So you never know, because except for like the hardcore veterans like us, we've done this. We did this before it became a trend. We're surviving it during the trend, and now we're still going to be around long after the trend is over.
That's right. We call it travel and camping.
That's right.
And we're still doing it.
We call it life. A lot.
Yes.
You use the word trend. A lot of people, it was just a trend. They saw other people doing it and it was cool. And now that it's dwindling, the bandwagon people drop off real quick.
I've got to admit that I'm not sad about that, because then I can actually, get into the national parks again and not have to worry about all those crowds anymore. I stopped going for a little bit because there were so many people. It just took away from the beauty of just being there.
Candi, you said
I agreed.
My feelings out loud. I've been feeling that for a while, but I just I keep that to myself. That is my sentiment.
I feel it's trending back towards the pandemic era a little bit. Like I can remember traveling in the beginning of when the pandemic hit, and man, you could get in anywhere, do anything anywhere. There was no people. It was ideal. And I feel like the last couple of years were really tough. And I did start noticing it even this summer when I was up in Montana, in Glacier and in Yellowstone for that matter, even in Yellowstone Park. I just pulled up and got into campgrounds, and that was not the case a year or two ago.
No, we were there in June, and that's peak season is whenever we were all there. And no, it wasn't as bad as it has been. So I'm glad to see that trend happening. If that could be a trend.
Both Glacier and Yellowstone, their reservation systems, they send me the stuff in the mail, newsletters. They ended their reservations early, both at Glacier and both at Yellowstone, which are like two of the busiest parks in the whole. So I don't know what's up with that.
Interesting. So tell me more about, so your husband is, what's he excited about doing next on the road? Is like, do you guys have any plans for doing anything else or springtime? What's that look like?
So we have some things in discussion. We actually have some backpacking adventure that we're talking about. So that's pretty exciting. But we'll see. First, we need to get the CJ that we're working on its tires and get it troubleshooting and get it running so that I can take that out and do some stuff with that as well. So, because as of right now,
what's the status on that?
Good, actually. Today I was working on the windshield today and getting that all together. But as of right now, it's kind of in pieces. It's looking good, though. The doors are rebuilt. Most recently, that's complete. I know.
Anybody looking to see a Jeep, especially a CJ built from the ground up, need to go to Chicks Do It Too on Instagram and follow her. They're literally putting this vehicle together piece by piece.
Yeah, it's a frame up.
And she's making me real nervous because we're supposed to be doing this trip in the spring, and I don't know how I'm going to ever put my old Land Rover next to that thing. It's going to be embarrassing.
I'm trying to let it look just, grungy enough so that I can still be part of the group.
Yeah, but it's going to sound good and run right.
See, fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for. That's all I care about. So
it's too funny.
Well, yeah. Everything that we've taken off so far has been completely jacked up. The people who did it, whatever they did before this, who owned it before us, wow, they just did not know what they were doing. So I'm excited the only way that we could ensure that it was going to be reliable at all was to just pull it apart, just pull it all apart. We're just like, forget it, pull the frame off, let's pull it all apart. So that's what we've done. And so far we're glad that we did. But otherwise there's things under there that we found that are just so wrong that we never would have found. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a typical project. Usually, you know how that goes. As soon as you start pulling anything apart, it becomes a bigger project than what you expected in the first place.
I tell you what, my last TJ that we did, because this is the second one that we've done. It was like 15 years ago that we did the first one, and it was not near as beat up as this. This one, I mean, it doesn't have any rust or anything, but I mean, like, just the people who tried to work on it really didn't know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
With Jeeps, I don't care what year you get, you don't know what you're getting until you pull it apart. You could go to a dealership and go to the used car lot, and all of those Jeeps, they look brand new almost, but you don't know where that vehicle has been.
Mm-hmm.
The prettiest looking Jeep may have been all over the United States.
Well, especially whenever you're talking about vehicles that are 40 plus years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this one is an 86 that we're working on currently. The one previous to this was an 85. So they've seen some stuff. Yeah,
Toyota people like to make jokes about Jeeps, but my retort always is, yeah, ours break down because we go places y'all don't go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I have a really great example of that on my YouTube channel, actually. And it was what is it called? The 88 River Run, I think was the name of the trail. Anyway, I was with these Tacoma guys, and there were 2 Jeeps. I was one of them, and there was one more. And all the Tacomas got stuck. The only two that didn't get stuck out of that whole group were the 2 Jeeps. So, and we were running the same thing. I think it came down to weight, though. A lot of it, they were pretty big and pretty heavy, but we had to rescue them, and it was rough because we were in the river. So anyway,
solid axles always win.
I have no complaints.
So tell us, Candi, you're also a motorbike chick. How's that going?
You know, I really like the bike. The bike is really cool. In fact, so this is the first time that I've started learning how to ride a motorcycle. It's been about a year now. Took the safety class, got my license, and we're just riding, and it's been good. And we put the bike on the back of the new big rig that we've got, the new build, and towed it around with us. And you know, it's really great. So we're enjoying the bike a lot. And in fact, we're shopping around for another one. We're looking at those good deals that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, they're out there.
They're out.
I know. I keep looking. I don't need it. I need a new bike like I need a hole in the head. But you know, I'm just kind of like, well, you know, the KTM's got a new 390 coming out, and it's supposed to be all changed, and we'll see what happens because you know that. Hey, I mean, that front is interesting too. Half these companies are in bankruptcy or going or having all sorts of problems too. Just you can only, you know, sustain this kind of market for so long, and then they got problems. I mean, KTM is the largest motorcycle manufacturer in Europe, and they've got problems, like big problems.
Yeah, they do.
So, you know, who knows what's going to happen with all that? But I mean, they're not the first, and they won't be the last. So we'll see what happens in that market. But you know, if the deal's to be had, I might be looking.
It's hard to pass up a good deal. I will say that.
It definitely
That's
is.
my problem.
Yeah. So tell me about for those that are not aware, you guys. I knew you for many years as the Jeep person, right? Uh-huh. And you've recently, maybe not recently now, it's been a little bit, but you've transitioned, or you still have the Jeeps, but you've transitioned to tell everybody kind of what you have and give us so far, what's the pluses and minuses of the new rig?
The pluses and the minuses of the new rig. Okay, so the big advantages to the new rig are that it's fully equipped with everything we need. We have the
and what is
drive.
It?
We've got
tell them what it is.
It's an E350 with a 6-inch lift, 22 foot long. Basically, it's a motorhome. We took a motorhome stock and ripped out the undercarriage and installed a Dana 60 and full true 4-wheel drive. There's a 6-inch lift. There is a I'm sorry. Anyway, it's got all the bells and
welcome
whistles.
to the team. This is what Phil and I do. We have what we call it brain shit.
Oh, man. Let me tell you, it's been a day. I get up early.
You should see how many times it happens to me. I've been in Spanish class down here for 2 months, and I swear to God, for every 5 words of Spanish that come in, there's a few English words that fall out the other side of my head. So I'm pretty sure you give me another couple of months, I wouldn't even be able to speak English anymore.
Well, so the interior has got a full bathroom. It's a dry bathroom, which is really great. We've got a couple of beds in there, lots of storage. And it's the basically you can, if the road's wide enough, it'll make it. So, and I believe me, I've done that. I've taken that thing on one really gnarly road going up in Montana. That was a crazy shelf road that I had no business being on that. Let's just say that. But we made it because it has the 4-wheel drive and I've got a lot of experience. So, but believe me, I was sweating it. So the advantages to this particular rig is that it's got it all. The disadvantage is its size. It's big. Yep. It's 22 feet long. And basically, though, whenever you think about it, it's just a dually. That's all it is. But for me, it's still wider than what I've been driving for all of these years. I've got a 2015 Jeep JKU. It's a Sahara, and I've got an Ursa Minor pop top on it. And that thing it's got 130,000 miles on it, and it's not a daily driver. So I've just strictly used it for adventure. So off-roading, drove to the Arctic Circle, down in Baja, did some of the Baja Divide, did the entire Baja Peninsula with that, and all 50 states. So I think the longest trip that I ever took was in 2018 from the Arctic Circle to Key West, Florida. Collectively, that was about 6 months. But yeah, the Jeep, I mean, it's the go everywhere, do anything vehicle, but it doesn't have the dry shower. It doesn't have the luxuries. So, but I did put a bathroom in there because during the pandemic, they shut down all the rest stops. So I put a bathroom in and a bigger water tank, and off I went. So now the CJ is going to be an Overland build as well, but it's going to have a rooftop tent. So that's going to be we'll see how that goes. I haven't slept in something that small since we used because I started off in our pickup truck. We have a Ram 1500 as well, a 2014 Ram 1500. And we started out, I would take our daughter, we went up to Glacier National Park and we camped in a tent. We did Teton, we did, we did the whole Washington Peninsula, the Olympic Peninsula and everything in that truck. So, and that was just a tent. So I haven't been roughing it that badly since then. So we'll see how it goes with the CJ and getting back to basics, so to speak. So.
Well, I hope you guys are all listening out there, because the point of which I asked the question is for exactly what you just said, Candi. First of all, the definition of roughing it is different for everybody, number one. And number two, there is no right vehicle. And we talk about this constantly. Mm-hmm. Everything has a plus and a minus to it, right? Mm-hmm. And, as much as you think that, because I get asked, obviously, with my big truck, and I have some of the same challenges. It's big, it's heavy, doesn't fit in the same places that, say, my little Land Rover or my Jeeps could fit before. But it is super comfortable. So it's a give and take scenario there. But, my definition, when I went to Overland Expo this year and stayed in the rooftop tent, to me, that was pushing roughing it. But this is coming from somebody that, like myself, that, went across Africa with a backpack. So it depends on, I guess, where you are in your life, for one. Mm-hmm. And I think the moral of the whole story is use what you got. Bring it. If you got it, bring it. You know what I mean? Because we get asked constantly, what do you guys recommend? What's better, Toyota or Jeep or a big truck, or should I need this? Do I need that? until you go do it, everybody has different, definition of their needs. And I think that's important. And what you just said, a nice dry bathroom. Yeah, I like that. I'm on board with that team. But it obviously isn't necessary. And it also depends on where you're going and what you're doing.
Yes.
So, yes. I mean, there's no one tool. It's like in your garage. You've got to have a set of, you can't expect that you're going to, rebuild your entire Jeep with 2 wrenches. That's never going to work, right? You need a whole set of different tools. It depends on what the job is. So that's kind of how I equate that. Well, we get asked that. I bet you that's our number one topic / question that we get on the podcast. Right, Phil?
110%. 110%.
I think the right vehicle is whatever you have in your driveway. I mean, my husband and I we did tent camping. We had a Fiat 500 at one point, and we took it camping, and it was a blast. We just threw everything in there. Believe me, it was packed to the rafters. Okay. There was no room for breathing, basically. But we got it out there and we went camping, and it was a lot of fun. We went up to Northern Nevada. It was great.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, there's no wrong.
And that, by the way, that's not just the vehicle. It's the same with gear too, right? I mean, if you don't have the gear, go find out what gear you have, and then on top of that, make sure you know how to use the gear that you do have, because gear that you know how to use is way more important than gear in general that you have but you don't know what to do with it, right?
Well, I have a feeling just in general about being involved in anything, whether it's a career or a hobby or whatever. Like, I've known people who have a career, and I know more about their industry than they do, and they've been in it for 30 years. You should always investigate fully and research whatever it is you're into, whether it's a hobby or a career. That's all. And I find people just they see the good side of stuff. They look at the good side, and that's what they focus on. And they don't look at the whole rest of it. So then once they're fully into the hobby, they've spent thousands of dollars on stuff that, like, there are people who buy these off-road kits for their vehicles, and then they barely go off-road. That's the biggest mistake I see.
Most people, actually.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, I think that's most people.
And when I say off-road, I don't mean taking a trail through the forest. I mean, right. And if you're just taking trails through the forest, which is most people, you don't need to do nothing to your vehicle. Put some better tires so they don't get punctured.
Well, I like what you said, investigate, ask questions. So we've just made it through half of a podcast without talking about any kind of story or national news. So I got to ask you guys, speaking of what your opinions are, I couldn't stay off of this forever. No, have you? I'm sure you both have seen the stories about these drones, right? Has anybody seen that? You've seen these drones? Okay.
Yeah.
And all this. So what are they? What do you guys think is going on? All these drones on the East Coast, from New Jersey to Connecticut to, I don't know, maybe they're even on the West Coast now. What is that all about?
Bill, you want to go first?
Here I go.
Go for it.
Oh boy.
I think it's one of two things.
Hold on, drum roll. Here comes a Phil prediction. Okay.
Not necessarily in order, but one prediction is it's a psyops. People won't see the similarities, and I won't take the time to pull the similarities together, but I see similarities in this with what happened in Hawaii. What's the big thing happened in Hawaii? I can't think of
what happened in Hawaii.
All the Japanese came.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. There are a lot of similarities to me between the two. And so if it's a psyops, I believe that it could be our actual flying objects, and we are trying to incite a certain feeling in the masses for us to do something. So that's one thing. I think it might be a psyops. And then if
on the part of whom?
American government, it wouldn't be a psyops otherwise. Yep. The other one would be, and I lean more to this, is there is another country, and if I have to pick one, I think it's either Russia or China. I believe it's one of those two flying around, and we are gathering information on their technology. That's my guess.
Okay. Candi?
So I've done a lot of
DJI
reading.
drones, right?
So I've done a lot of reading about this because we live near Creech Air Force Base and just outside Area 51. Like my house looks at the mountain range that Area 51 is right on the other side of. We have night vision cameras around our property because we live in the middle of nowhere. And we see a lot of funky stuff, let me tell you. And there's drones flying around all the time over here, all the time. But you can only see them on night vision. I think that people are I think that it's the U.S. military. I think it's probably top secret, which is why nobody's saying anything about it because they can't. And that's why the U.S. government isn't really worried about it right now. But I suspect it's probably either new technology that they're working on and they can't say anything about it. They got to be tight-lipped because they're saying, on the news that I'm reading, they're saying that they're over the military installations and places like that. Okay, well, I don't know. It's not rocket science to me because I see a lot of, like I said, I see a lot of funky stuff around here and it's all on night vision. So, we see drones. We see drones and we've seen them for years. We've been out here for years in the Nevada desert. Okay. And I don't think it's any different than what we have been seeing for years. It's just probably new technology that they're working on. That's my opinion. Take it for whatever it's worth, but that's what I think.
I would venture to guess without any facts that you probably have seen more activity over the years than any of these people in New Jersey or on the East Coast for sure.
Yeah.
You go to Vegas, they literally have tours that'll take you out to these areas in the middle of the night and provide. That's how often the activity is going on. So what do you think, Mike?
Well, I think Candi, I tend to agree with her. I think it's nuts. First, what I think is that people are like sheep. And I think if one person sees 3 drones flying over their house and then starts talking about it, and then it goes on to TikTok, and next thing you know, somebody captures, and like you said, look, I got cameras on my truck here, right? And sometimes I'll look at my phone and I'll look at the picture, and you see a spider walks by or a bug goes by and it looks like all sorts of crazy stuff when you're looking at it on night vision, right? So it's like, it could be absolutely nothing. But I think the likelihood is that, I think there's zero chance that it's a foreign quote entity. I think that it might be possibly the government testing stuff or doing something. However, I'd have to question why on earth would they be flying around with FAA legal lights on them, as an example? It's not really something that the government would generally do, I wouldn't think, unless they are going to try to pawn it off on its Amazon's new delivery system, maybe. But I just think that it's a bunch of crap, like most everything else that comes out in the news, and it's people, they incite themselves into this. By the way, it's not just the common people. Like, I've seen the New Jersey governor on there. We've seen like senators talking about it. All these people. I don't know. Boy, I'll tell you what. Sometimes you're like, you just shake your head.
And you guys have kind of touched on it. I think it's kind of what you're used to in your area. Because did you hear a couple of months ago about the 2 lady pilots that got killed near Mount Rainier?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, the flight path from where they go flies directly over my house straight to Mount Rainier. And the point I'm making is not that, but it's a flight path for the military. So it's not very often, but I'd say once a week, we hear some unusual noise. And when you look outside, we do not recognize what we see, but we know it's military. So nobody even talks about
anything of it. That's right. I just find it funny because here they are in New Jersey with a
vehicle that we've never seen before. It's almost always a vehicle, aircraft that we've never seen before.
Yep. And at this point, the only thing that they're probably testing most of the time is unmanned aircraft, which by definition is a drone, right? So, I don't know.
Which just signaled in my brain, we're very close to a time where there's going to be a shift where the majority of planes are drones, and it's going to be rare. And I'm talking about militarily. It's going to be rare that somebody actually mans a flight. It'll reach a point where the manned flight is the worst choice.
Yeah, didn't just yesterday some Russian general or something just got taken out by a drone in Moscow or something by Ukraine, right? I think I just saw that on the news. So yeah, I mean, why send in guys and kill your own people when you can send in a drone and safely control it from your living room? I mean, makes sense. Right?
Candi, you live near, whether you realized it or not, you live near one of the largest drone operations in the whole United States at Nellis Air Force. A lot of the stuff that goes on all over the world, they're actually doing it at Nellis Air Force Base.
I did know that. And it's Creech is where a lot of the drones and the drone pilots come in and out of, because I've met the fighter pilots. And my husband has actually toured the facilities. So they are, I do know that they're out of there. And I do know a lot of the people who work out there. It's a very small town. People think Vegas is so big. It's not. We're big, but we're small. You know that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because I never had the opportunity to go onto Nellis Air Force Base, but I used to, for a while, I'd go to Speedway, which is across the street. And people, it would be literally hundreds of people with their cameras to photograph the aircraft that fly off, because some of them are just like normal aircraft. But every now and then you get to see something like, what is that?
Yeah. I used to be a military dependent. I used to go to Nellis all the time.
Yeah,
so I've seen a lot of good aircrafts.
I saw a plane one time at Nellis that I've never seen again. And it was so big that when it flew over, it was like nighttime until it reached elevation. It was that big. So some of this may just be unfamiliarity with drones.
Or a bunch of ding-dongs. I mean, you're talking about people in northern New Jersey that's near like 3 of the biggest airports in the world. So there's all sorts of traffic in the major metropolitan New York area. I mean, I just start shaking my head when I hear this, like, oh my God.
So no chance in you guys' head that this could be from another country?
I'm not saying that I don't think there's not a chance. I just think it's very unlikely. Given
I think we would have shot him down.
That's what I think too. I think that that's unreasonable to believe that we would allow a foreign entity within our airspace.
Well, we had the balloon. Has that been a calendar year yet? You remember the balloon?
I do remember the balloons.
Yeah, the balloons. But their balloons were a little bit different because they were at like 60,000 feet or something, going super duper slow. And the likelihood is, I mean, let's face it, Phil, the likelihood is that we probably knew exactly what they were, what was on board them, and what their capabilities were, right? So they didn't pose that much of a threat. And then remember, we did end up sending fighter jets into Canada, no less, and blasted the shit out of them and spent like $5 million shooting down a $75 balloon. So, I mean,
so they say.
And you got to remember, I mean, it wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't say this. Right now, we don't have a president. So there's nobody in charge until another month, right?
We got somebody in charge. They just not qualified. Bro, why is Biden trying to kill us before he leaves?
I don't know. I think that's a strong statement that he knows that he's trying to do anything. I don't know. I don't even buy that. No,
bro.
You don't know where he is.
The moves he's been making the last 3 months is a spiteful old man that's not losing it yet. He's a little bit bitter. Because he's done subtle things that somebody with dementia wouldn't do, like with the MAGA hat at the restaurant and carrying it on board. The police still had it in his hand. He still understands messaging and imaging. I don't think he's as senile as people think he is.
Who here believes that he voted for Trump?
Oh, I think he voted for Trump.
I both voted for Trump because they couldn't vote for Harris.
He's that tight.
I don't think that he did.
Oh no, he voted for Trump. There's no question in my mind. He can't stand her. I said that before. He didn't like her.
Yeah. Oh no. But well, even his wife, as she was leaving the voting booth, she was wearing a beautiful red dress. Loved it. I was like, oh, she just voted for Trump.
A lot of signaling going on there.
Yes.
If you look at Biden without your personal vested interests in the country involved, if you just anybody who's reached the top of anything, whether you're a CEO, a VP, whatever it is, you reach the top and then everybody says, nah, we want somebody else. You ain't going to be happy about it.
Oh no, he was ticked. I could tell you.
If I was president and then y'all
bitter.
said, no, we want Candi, I'd be like F Candi.
Right? Uh-huh.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I put some sugar in her CJ.
Don't you make me
no. Yeah, but don't worry, you'll get pardoned. Because I think he's going to pardon everybody in the United States. That's my feeling at this point.
So
I wonder if you could do that. Blanket, everybody's pardoned.
We talked about the CEO killer. What's your opinion on it? Just whatever you got to say about it.
Oh man, that guy. I don't know what to think about that guy. The things that I read about him, he's an educated young man. He's got his whole life ahead of him. And he goes and he does some crazy stuff like this. Before we knew anything about him, I was like, oh, I wonder if this poor person, lost somebody that he cared about because the healthcare system failed them. And that still is unclear. So I'm just waiting to hear about that, about what the reason behind it was, because it was so intentional. I just have to believe that he did it out of, grief, maybe,
And I got to say, as much as I don't want to have to admit this, I think Phil, I'm going to declare him right already. I wasn't totally on board last week when Phil says he's going to get off. And you know what? I went home, I thought about that. And I think you're right, Phil. There's zero chance that they get a jury of 12 people where one guy is in a holdout and says, nope. And it's a hung jury. There's no way. This is like an O.J. Simpson scenario.
Yes.
Well, and so let me get this out here before you start hearing it from other people. Remember, you heard it here first. I happen to be very close to an attorney, and they've given me a term, and it's called jury nullification. And it is a thing you will not hear come out of a practicing judge or attorney's mouth. It is literally an understood thing that this is something you don't talk about, even though it's legal. And basically, I can, as a juror, decide that, yeah, this is the law. You've broken the letter of the law, but this is not ethically or morally, in my opinion, a good judgment. And that is a legal thing. And it cannot be reversed by a judge. The whole point is we don't agree with the process with our judgment. So you can't come back with the judgment, if that makes sense.
Well, absolutely. And this is why I think he went and hired a superpowered New York City attorney. And
I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah. And the one goal with hiring an attorney like that is to make sure who they pick for the jury selection.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's going to play out exactly like I said. I'm not making no changes to my prediction. It's going to happen exactly. You're going to also learn about things like, if you didn't know about, there are people who literally are into the science of picking a juror. You're gonna hear about some famous name guy that does that. You're gonna hear about an argument whether he can be part of the legal team. This is gonna be fought tooth and nail all the way through because both sides have the money for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Both sides have the money for it. And that's what makes this thing especially strange is that, here's a guy like Candi said that is like well educated. He's wealthy. He's wealthier than the guy that he killed. And that's the part that surprises me is the just the whole profile of it is weird. Doesn't surprise Phil because
it doesn't surprise
we're changing
me.
The name of the podcast to Random Conspiracies.
Well, this isn't a conspiracy. That my daughter, we're not well to do like his family, but my daughter had it pretty easy, and we lived in a pretty easy area. And I seen kids like him. They are the ones most susceptible to being anti-establishment. They are the ones that are most susceptible to being super left and liberal. They are the ones that are into all of this social engineering, social warfare, all of that stuff. They're more into it than the poor kid in the neighborhood with lack of education and money. They're too busy trying to either do something criminal to make some money or get themselves out of the situation they're in. The rich kids got plenty of time that's where the word first world problems came from, is that everything is so okay that you got time to think about BS. And who has more time to think about BS than a kid who is well educated and has no worries?
Yeah.
That's my thing.
That's a good point. You're right. I can't argue that.
Candi,
what kind of wine are you drinking over there?
I think I told you this. I used to go to my daughter's school, and the roughest thing for me was that they were into all of this liberal New Jack City stuff. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it was part of the education. It was part of the curriculum. It wasn't something that they were doing hidden. Matter of fact, if I had spoken up, I probably got her kicked out of school.
Well, look, in many ways, education, especially higher education, is propaganda, right? I mean, it's a propaganda machine. That's the whole idea of higher education at this point.
Well, if you think about hippies, if you think about the genesis of liberals, it started in colleges.
Yep.
Feminism, it started in colleges. All of this stuff started in college.
Yep. Candi, what kind of wine? I saw your wine there. I'm feeling left out down here.
It's a Sauvignon Blanc. It's pretty good.
This is a newbie for you. I thought you were red all the way, red and Blanche.
I am, but this is pretty good too. Trying some new stuff.
I'm drinking Premier Agua Purificada.
Right down the road.
That's
Doesn't
right.
get more real than that.
Nope. So we've got 7 minutes today and remaining on our podcast. And then what else? What do we miss, Candi? What do we need to talk about? Not that we're not going to have you on again very soon, but
oh gosh. Well, are you guys ready for the holidays?
I am.
You get all your stuff?
We don't celebrate holidays in this house.
Well, we don't on a large scale either.
But I have a little Christmas tree out my window here.
Aww.
And we're going to have a little Christmas get together in my little RV park that I'm at here in Todos Santos. And that's all we're doing, really. Oh, no, wait. We're doing one more thing. So today I got to pitch my I just put out a YouTube video today that is not that funny, but it was our attempt at comedy. It's the first time I ever put a comedy YouTube video out. So if you're listening to this, go watch it and don't say really mean things to me. But we're going to do another comedy video coming up. We're going to we've got Santa Claus beards, and we're going to go around town. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, but down here in Mexico, hot dogs are really big. So we're going to go to a bunch of hot dog carts and we're gonna go with our Santa Claus beards on, and the person that gets their beard the dirtiest from all the shit falling off your hot dog while you're eating it wins the competition. So we're gonna film that for you too, because I mean, what else would you do?
Oh my God.
That's my holiday coming up.
So is it the hot dogs for Christmas? I mean, is that what?
No, we're gonna do that. I think right after. We're gonna have a Christmas dinner here in camp, but I think we'll do that a couple days after Christmas. We're gonna go around and do that. So before New Year's, we'll see what happens. We got a little group of nomads down here. I got my buddy Bert and Kevin and Brenda are here, and then I got I think you know them. Darren and Kim are coming in tomorrow with Poseidon with the truck like mine.
Nice.
They're going to be here for Christmas, and Deidre and Reyes are coming down as well
for Christmas.
So, they're coming down. What's today? I think tomorrow they're crossing the border, maybe, or the next day. That's so great. Yeah, they're on their way down. So we're gonna have a little group of people down here. I don't know.
So that prompts me to ask Candi, since we're both married.
Yeah.
And our kid, we're empty nesters.
Yep.
Are you cooking for Christmas?
So I cook for all the holidays, no matter who's coming. So if somebody shows up, there's food. I'm that mom, but it's going to be prime rib in the Forno, which is right behind me. Oh, pizza oven.
Ooh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. All the holidays are cooked in that oven. So, and it's really good too. And I cook everything from to all the way into dessert in there.
We are considering getting takeout or going somewhere to eat. Because I have been doing what you've been doing, but what ends up happening is we have Thanksgiving food for 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have not learned how to cook for 2 people yet.
After I got divorced, I remember the first year or the two, I did Chinese for Christmas.
I've done that many times.
They're almost guaranteed they're open.
I've done that many times, especially when I was single. That was a religion.
Good.
Chinese for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, if you
want
to meet some Jewish people, go to a Chinese restaurant. No, seriously. Go to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas. Half the place will be Jewish people.
That's hilarious.
It's like one of their little, I'd call it a ghetto tradition, because it's not a formal tradition that they do, but American Jews, a lot of them do that. A lot of them do it.
I told my husband I want to go to Hawaii for Christmas one year. I told him we'd have all the ham to ourselves.
That could be fun.
Wow.
It'd be fun. Yeah, we'd have
that's kind of what I'm doing this year. I mean, we're sitting under the palm trees here, and I don't know. I kind of feel like it's that kind of vibe. So I'm looking forward to it. But
I just realized that the three of us, none of us are in a region or area that has weather that coincides with what Christmas is representative of.
You need snow?
Yeah.
You got some snow? You got to go up the mountain to get the snow, don't you? Or snow?
We've only had one white Christmas here ever, and that was back in 2015. That was the one time it ever snowed here on our house.
Do you have snow on Mount Charleston? I mean, you always have a little bit at the top, but I mean...
the ski resort's been really happy lately because they got snow starting on Halloween this year. I mean, they're just going gangbusters up there. So, and it's beautiful to, because I don't have to show a lot of anything. I'm like, I can see it from here and it's great.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, you are really anti-Christmas where you at on the beach.
Hey, but having said that, Christmas, obviously down here in Mexico, it's predominantly Catholic. This is a big deal. Everybody's houses are decorated right now. You got a lot of lights and stuff. So people are, it's a big deal. And being in Mexico, they tend to have a lot of holidays. So I would, it's not just a 1 day thing. It's like you can pretty much count on nothing happening the whole week.
Which I'm looking forward to. Navidad in this bitch.
That's right. Feliz Navidad, everybody. So to all listeners out there, happy holidays. Are we doing a podcast next week? Yeah, we're going to do a podcast next week, but that's going to come out 2 days after Christmas.
I will text
Christmas
you
on Wednesday.
We'll talk about it offline.
We'll talk
Well,
about it offline.
Regardless of anything, there will be a podcast.
That's right. So I have to check out.
Candi, do you have any final words?
Great to see you guys as always. And it's especially special just because it's, the week before Christmas. So I'm glad I got to say hi and happy holidays. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful holiday no matter what you're doing.
So
Agreed.
happy holidays
And
to
you
you,
too.
Candi,
Thank you.
and to all those you love, including your husband, wherever he is. Where he
That's
at?
right. And Dookie Duke.
Is he in ear distance?
He is actually. He's in the bedroom.
All right, just
Probably
let him know.
working.
Just let him know.
Did you hear him just yell Merry Christmas too? So that's
Merry Christmas. All right, guys. And to all everybody out there, you guys as well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you next week. What do you got, Phil?
All right, guys. You know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, tread lightly, and hopefully we'll see you here on trail soon.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.